You've been training for years, and somewhere after 50, something shifted. You're waking up flatter than you went to bed. Your recovery takes longer. You're losing strength in movements you used to own. Your waist stays the same, but your arms are going backwards. That's not just age doing that. That's what happens when you go to bed every night with nothing in your system to slow down a process that accelerates after 50. 5 foods can help change that. Tonight is a good place to start. Number 1. Pumpkin seeds. Your body produces most of its testosterone and growth hormone during the early hours of sleep, roughly between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. That window is either working for you or it's working against you. And one of the most common reasons it works against men over 50 has nothing to do with age. It has to do with zinc. Zinc is the mineral that plays a direct role in enabling testosterone production. Without adequate zinc, the hormonal signal that tells your body to preserve muscle during sleep gets weaker. And here's the part most men don't know. Zinc status is often not checked on a standard blood panel. Many men who train regularly are running low and have no idea. Pumpkin seeds are one of the highest natural sources of zinc in any whole food. 1 ounce before bed is a simple, low-cost way to support that overnight hormonal window. 1 ounce. Raw or dry roasted, no added salt, 30 minutes before bed. Now, the supplement industry sells zinc in various forms for $30, $40 a bottle, and some of those products have their place. But if you're not even covering the basics through food first, you're building on sand. Pumpkin seeds are the foundation. Start there. One note, if you're on medication that affects zinc absorption or you have kidney issues, check with your doctor before loading up on any mineral. That applies to everything on this list. Number 2, tart cherry juice. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough in the muscle after 50 conversation. Inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation, the kind that builds up over years of training, stress, and poor sleep, is one of the main drivers of accelerated muscle breakdown in older men. You can be eating enough protein and still losing ground if your inflammatory baseline is too high. Tart cherry juice is one of the most studied whole foods for exercise recovery and inflammation reduction. The research here is actually solid. Short-term trials in athletes show measurable reductions in muscle soreness and inflammatory markers after supplementing with tart cherry. The evidence is strongest for recovery and sleep quality. The testosterone angle is more indirect. Here's the sleep mechanism. Tart cherry juice has been shown in multiple trials to improve sleep duration and quality. Better sleep architecture means more time in deep sleep. More time in deep sleep means more growth hormone released. That's not a guarantee. It's a consistent pattern in the research. 8 ounces, unsweetened, pure tart cherry, not cherry cocktail, not cherry blend. Read the label. 30 minutes before bed. One thing worth saying, if you're managing blood sugar, tart cherry juice has natural sugars. 8 ounces is a reasonable amount for most people. But if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, check with your doctor first. This is not a small detail. Here's the thread that connects everything on this list. And once you see it, the rest of the video makes more sense. After 50, your body's anabolic window during sleep gets shorter. Growth hormone output declines, testosterone production slows, and your body becomes more efficient at breaking muscle down for energy during the night, a process called muscle protein catabolism. It's not dramatic, it's gradual, but it compounds, and it accelerates when you go to bed with nothing in your system to push back against it. Every food on this list works on one of 3 levers: supporting anabolic hormone production, reducing the catabolic process, or giving your muscles the raw material to repair while you sleep. One thing this list doesn't replace: your total protein intake during the day and your actual training. If those aren't in place, nothing you eat before bed is going to move the needle. This is a support system for men who are already doing the work. If that's you, keep watching. Number 3, lentils. Let me tell you about a mistake a lot of men over 50 make without realizing it. They hit their protein target for the day. Chicken at lunch, maybe some fish at dinner, and then they go to bed with nothing. And they wonder why they're still losing ground. Here's what's happening. Muscle protein synthesis, the process of building and repairing muscle, requires amino acids to be available in your bloodstream. During sleep, that supply runs out. And when it runs out, your body starts pulling from somewhere else. That somewhere else is your muscle. The solution isn't eating a huge meal before bed, it's eating something that digests slowly enough to keep amino acids available across several hours of sleep. That's where lentils come in. Lentils are a slow-digesting protein source with a solid amino acid profile. They release steadily over several hours. Not a spike, not a crash. A half cup of cooked lentils gives you a meaningful protein dose that keeps the supply line open while you sleep. Not a magic number, not a guarantee, but a consistent, practical tool. Half a cup, cooked, any variety. Red lentils digest a bit faster if you have digestive sensitivity. Green or brown are slower. Eat them warm. Season them however you want. I know, lentils. Not exactly the food you picture when you think about a serious physique. Neither is sleeping 8 hours. Both of them are doing more work for your muscle overnight than most of what's being sold to you in a tub. That's just how it is. One practical note, if lentils give you gas or bloating, start with 1/3 of a cup and eat them 60 to 90 minutes before bed instead of 30. Your gut adapts. Give it a week. 3 foods in. You've covered zinc for the hormonal window, anti-inflammatory compounds for sleep quality and recovery, and slow-release protein to keep the repair signal running. Number 4 is the one that works on all 3 of those areas through mechanisms most men have never heard of. It's next. Stay with me. Number 4, watercress. I told you it looked like a salad ingredient. It does. And I'm going to tell you why it belongs on this list. Not because of marketing, not because of a supplement company repackaging it in a black bottle, but because the biology is actually interesting. Let me paint you a picture first. You know that feeling the morning after a bad night's sleep? You wake up flat, stiff, like your body spent the night tearing itself down instead of building back up. That's not just in your head. That's muscle protein catabolism running unchecked. Your body has a cellular system, the ubiquitin proteasome pathway, that tags proteins for breakdown. After 50, this system becomes more active. It's part of why recovery slows down. It's part of why you can do everything right and still feel like you're losing ground. Watercress contains a compound called PEITC, phenethyl isothiocyanate. Research has linked this compound to modulating the same cellular breakdown pathways. The evidence here is early stage. Most of it comes from cellular and animal studies, with some human data in cancer research contexts. It's not a proven muscle drug, but the mechanism is real, the food is safe, and the cost is negligible. That combination is worth paying attention to. Second mechanism. Watercress is one of the most bioavailable sources of dietary nitrates in any whole food. Dietary nitrates convert to nitric oxide in your body. Nitric oxide supports blood vessel dilation. Better circulation during sleep means better delivery of oxygen and amino acids to muscle tissue during the hours your body is trying to repair it. This mechanism is better established. Nitrate research in athletes is fairly robust. Think of it as improving the delivery system for everything else on this list. Third mechanism. Watercress has a high concentration of vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 activates a protein called osteocalcin. Research has identified a link between osteocalcin and testosterone signaling. The evidence is more established in animal models than in human trials, but it's a real pathway that's being actively studied. The point isn't that watercress is a testosterone booster. The point is that it supports multiple systems simultaneously through mechanisms that cost you nothing to access. 1 cup, raw, before bed. Olive oil, salt, whatever makes it edible for you. The form doesn't matter, the dose does. 1 cup of watercress, under $1. 3 separate mechanisms linked to muscle preservation, circulation, and hormonal support. The reason you've never heard this positioned as a muscle food is simple. There's no product to build around it. You can't patent a plant. You can't create a subscription around something that grows in water and sits in the produce section. That's the only reason it's not on every fitness channel. Not a conspiracy, just economics. One caution worth mentioning. Watercress is high in vitamin K, which affects blood clotting. If you're on anticoagulant medication, warfarin for example, talk to your doctor before adding large amounts of any high K food to your diet. 1 cup is a moderate amount for most people. But if you're on blood thinners, this is not a small detail. You've been training longer than most men in your gym have been alive. You deserve information that actually matches your biology. 1 more food. And then I'll give you a practical way to start tonight. Number 5, banana with almond butter. Everything so far has been working on hormones, inflammation, protein availability, and cellular repair. Number 5 works on the nervous system, and that's what ties the whole list together. Here's the mechanism. Bananas are a natural source of tryptophan and vitamin B6 together in one food. Tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin. Serotonin is the precursor to melatonin. B6 is the cofactor that makes that conversion happen efficiently. When B6 is low, which is common in men over 50 who train, though not universal, that conversion becomes less efficient. The result shows up as poor sleep quality, less deep sleep, less growth hormone, and slower recovery. A banana before bed supports that pathway. It's not a sleeping pill, it's a building block. The almond butter adds two things. First, magnesium. Magnesium plays a key role in muscle relaxation and nervous system regulation during sleep. Low magnesium, again common in men who train heavily, is associated with elevated cortisol at night. Elevated cortisol during sleep works against muscle preservation. 1 tablespoon of almond butter is a modest but real source of magnesium that supports that regulation. Second, the fat in almond butter slows the digestion of the banana's carbohydrates. That means a slower, more stable blood sugar response instead of a spike. More stable blood sugar during sleep is associated with more stable cortisol. The banana and the almond butter work better together than either does alone. 1 medium banana, 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Raw almond butter, not the kind with added sugar and palm oil. 30 minutes before bed. 90 seconds to prepare. The men who start doing this consistently tend to notice the difference in how they feel the next morning before they notice it in the mirror. That's usually how it works. The recovery comes first. The body follows. 5 foods. 5 different mechanisms. All of them working while you sleep. Now, I'm not going to give you a rigid protocol and tell you to do all 5 tonight. That's not how this works. Here's a smarter way to start. Here's how to actually use this list. And I'm giving you 3 levels because not everyone starts in the same place. Level 1. You're new to this, you have a sensitive stomach, or you just want to test the water. Pick 2 items. The easiest combination, banana with almond butter and 8 ounces of tart cherry juice. Low digestive load, practical, and you'll likely notice something in your sleep quality within a few days. Start here if you're not sure how your gut handles food before bed. Level 2. You're comfortable eating before bed and you want to cover more ground. Add pumpkin seeds to the level 1 combination, 1 ounce. Now you're covering the zinc window, the sleep quality angle, and the nervous system regulation simultaneously. 3 items. That's a real foundation. Level 3. You're already doing the basics and you want the full system. Add lentils and watercress. Half a cup of lentils and 1 cup of watercress, eaten 60 to 90 minutes before bed, not 30, because the digestive load is higher. Give your body time to process before you lie down. If you have reflux or gastritis, lentils may not be your friend at night regardless of timing. Swap them for a small portion of hemp seeds instead. Similar slow-release protein profile, much lighter on the gut. This is not a medical protocol. It's a food strategy. It works best when your training is consistent and your total daily protein is already where it needs to be. Without those 2 things, this list is seasoning on an empty plate. Here's the honest version of what's happening after 50. Your body is not broken. It's operating exactly as biology designed it to operate at this stage, with less hormonal output, slower recovery, and a higher baseline of muscle breakdown during sleep. That's not a disease, that's a condition. And conditions respond to strategy. The 5 foods on this list are not a cure. They're not a replacement for training, for total daily protein, for sleep hygiene, or for whatever your doctor has you managing. What they are is a low-cost, practical way to support the biological processes that determine whether you wake up building or breaking down. The evidence behind them ranges from strong, tart cherry for recovery, lentils for slow-release protein, to promising but early, watercress, the K2 osteocalcin pathway. I told you where the science is solid and where it's still developing. That's the honest version. If this gave you something useful, give me a like. Now, before you go, drop a comment. Which of these 5 sounds like something you'd actually do tonight? And which one sounds like nonsense? I want to know. That argument is worth having.